Oh, okay.
Trying to make sure you got it. Meeting ID.
Meeting ID is dun, 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 dun. Just a second. Is 841 8644 4232.
232.
Yes. Maybe task a passport. What's it?
So I suspend the audio. And how do I share more?
Just share screen. Here. Okay, send request and I'm going to. I think we'll have to see on, yes, perfect. Let me see, how do I actually put this? That's the one thing that I don't know how to do. Quite frankly.
Zoom is requesting to bypass the system privacy window picker and directly access the screen and audio.
Yeah. Allow. You probably have some settings, some privacy.
Continue to
settings.
share.
Yes. Yeah, I can see your. I can see your slides.
Okay, so you want me to grab my mic?
Actually, I think I'm going to have to connect this to mine because the recording will happen from my computer. How does that work? If I record, it should record from your side. It shouldn't matter.
I think you can, it doesn't matter. Anybody can
yeah,
record.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see when it comes to video and audio. Just a second. Oh, we do need, we can move that one. Do you want me? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. No worry, no rush. I don't wanna, here. You guys do the lunch the last time. Did we order in advance?
Yes, we asked for the menus. That's what I want to tell them. If you
I-
want
yeah, I
to tell
told
them,
her.
yeah, to
I
put the
told her.
menus, and maybe with some, we have a paper sheet where they can.
Yep,
write
that's
down.
what I told, so, and then place
Yeah.
the order like at 11:30 or something, or?
Something like that. So in the end, because Gloriana, so we will start at around 10 with, because the registration will start at 9:30 or so.
Okay.
Gloriana has her slides, probably they are going to take like an hour, more or less, depends if how
Okay.
many questions
An
are
hour and
those.
50 with questions.
Yeah, exactly. So I planned for 90 minutes to give her, just
Okay.
to allow for.
Till
questions.
11:30.
Yeah, which means then you would come in with the prizes.
Okay,
And I was wondering if you also want to talk about Rahab, the social responsibility. Okay, I can speak to that.
yeah, I'm not prepared to, and I don't probably know enough about it.
I wrote
off the
everything
top
in the
of-
document.
Okay,
Everything.
oh, it's in there,
Yeah,
okay,
it's in there. So if you want to read from there, fine. If not, I can do that because I'll read anyway.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you
I'll
want
take
to open the meeting?
Well, I would accept it again, the,
Good, okay, I can
can
do
you
that.
do it? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
just wanted to make sure because you're still.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, that's very in name only.
I know, but we respect that.
Well, yeah, right, because Mooney's not coming. Do you mind in doing the?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay,
I
and
don't
I'll,
mind
I'll
that, sorry.
I'll read the,
I just want
information
to set once more the stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
So I'll tell her that and then, yeah, supposedly Phyllis, I don't know, oh yeah, Rami.
Phyllis and Romy start. So they will. Sí, mejor. Muchísimas gracias.
Do you want me to try it?
Yeah, I would like to open the video again, and just because I want to test the camera. And then we'll see how the sound is.
So we're,
Okay, here.
okay.
And I hope it's, yeah, it should be this one because I want to see how. Okay, so leave it like this.
But can you see the sharing though?
Yeah, the share is here.
Okay.
But what it's not is the video. So this is me. I can't see your video. There's some, you have some setting which is stopping, actually preventing us from, let's see, because I think the video is still off. In your case, it keeps on turning off. And now I can, for example, is it covered? No. Oh, yeah. It still doesn't. That's just funny. No. No. Well, what I can do, I can actually put my computer here and install this on my computer, the camera. And I'm going to mute my computer though, or whatever, or mute yours and do mine. She was a presenter last time.
Hola, qué lástima que no me acompañan estas cosas. No están pudiendo ver mi video. Cuando estoy sharing, el Zoom me cierra la cámara. Si tuviera alguna cosa de privacidad.
Okay.
Do you want to allow this? Sí puedo compartir la presentación, pero quieren que ponga video y yo quito el video en Zoom y me lo quita.
Next month.
Qué lástima cuando yo digo que es importante, nunca me hacen caso. Ok, gracias, gracias, chao. Yeah.
No, if it doesn't work, no, honestly, it's
FaceTime HD camera built in. Select the camera.
Oh, okay, yeah.
normally should be, no, that's going to use the camera of your computer.
Ah, okay, I
That's why
got
you
it.
have to select this one.
Ah, okay. New
Which is
ID.
the new, exactly. And you can see that it's going to turn, it normally turns green, but I don't see it doing that for whatever reason.
Where is it connected to?
This,
Um,
and it worked before in terms of turning. Let me see if I can do the following. Would you like to present from my computer?
well, I need to, it has like another animation, so.
All right, okay, so that I'm going.
Let me know if you need anything. So, I'm gonna look at your.
It says blur my background, choose video filter. Video settings, let's do here. Select
Yeah.
the camera in that one. Let me do video settings.
Okay, so shall I put the,
Oh, there it is. Video
okay,
settings, I'm seeing.
okay. Let's put the camera back. See if it works now.
use video,
Yeah, use video.
and I don't want it to mirror my video.
Hmm. Let me see if I can make it work on mine.
Sure.
Figure out from there.
Because I see it, I see like my video, but yeah, not the camera.
Sorry. See if it recognizes it. It doesn't see it. Hmm. Oh, okay, that's why it doesn't see it, because it's not well inserted. Yes, allow. Nope. Anyway. Okay, so it's the camera. Something is not okay with the camera, and I don't know what. It's not your computer,
Okay, good.
it's the camera.
Here I'm telling my husband that
Yeah.
it's like the move to Mac. Es como control, digamos, el alt, ¿verdad? El alt es like Command G. Y en el otro es como, o sea, Control F, digamos, todo es como Control C, Control V. No, es como, tengo que Google.
Okay, then we are going to try the sound and with the video from your computer and with the sound of my.
No problem.
I think maybe I just start the video and maybe ask you to speak in the mic to see how the sound is. So this I can see it from there, I can see your video.
Okay, from, hello, testing. Hello, testing. Yes, yeah. But you're not seeing the presentation, right?
Not yet.
Am I sharing?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Should I turn it on or not yet?
Yeah, that's turn it on and you can turn on as your sound. We'll start everything. Ready? Hello, Gabriela and Margie. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. So hang on there. We are going to have the presentation will last approximately 1 hour. And then we'll have plenty of time after the presentation to ask any questions you may have. But I believe Gloriana is okay to take questions during the
Yeah.
presentation as well. Fantastic. And after that, those of you that would like to stay for lunch, and I hope that you have received the menu and if you have put your name on the lunch sheet. If not, please let me know or let Romy know so we can actually hand over the paper, because it would be good to actually order it before we start, so there is no waiting time then for the group. So with this, and in the end, we will also have today door prizes. Jackie will be in charge of that, and I hope it's not going to be a surprise, but we'll also invite a few of you who have joined us more recently or rejoined us to actually introduce yourself to the group. Is that working?
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So let me just say a few words about today's session. And I'm really glad that you came here. And I'm also glad that there is interest from other people that have joined us online on Zoom. So today's session is really important because we are living in a world where there is a very, very quick acceleration of the digital landscape. And because of that, we are also facing unprecedented challenges when it comes to especially online security and fraud prevention. That at least will be the focus of today's topic. And obviously, artificial intelligence has transformed and keeps on transforming everything that we know. It's touching every aspect of our lives, our business as well, but it's also touching the way we work, the way we communicate, and also, unfortunately, how certain people who don't have the best intentions are operating. So that's exactly what today's topic is going to be about. Fraud in the age of AI, how the big data is changing completely our game. And it's a very timely topic and a very important, I think, for us all. I was actually super happy when I saw the topic and Gloria coming to present. And Gloriana, I'm going to say a few words about you. If you want to add anything, please let me know. But again, Gloriana is a technology enthusiast, as she calls herself, as she's also an AI trainer, and she brings over 24 years of experience in the tech industry to this conversation. So she has very important, I would say, a lot of expertise, but also I'm sure a lot of experience in managing different events which touch this particular topic of today. And as I mentioned, it's meant to be interactive. So if there are any questions, feel free to raise your hand. We'll bring the microphone to you so people online can also hear you. And if not, you can just keep your questions until the end, and I'm going to hand over from here to Gloriana.
Just want to make sure the audience is okay. They're good? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so welcome. We're gonna dive right in. So this is Anne. So Anne is in South Africa. She just left the HPE office. She's on her way to a parking lot. She's gonna pick up her car, and she wants to make sure that it doesn't get dark.
Share the screen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 1 second. So we'll go back to Anne in a minute. Are you able to see it? Not yet? Okay.
No. No, we cannot see the screen. Perfect.
Okay. All set? You can see it fine?
Yeah.
Ah, I don't see it. Still there, huh? So, yeah. Sorry, we tested this before, but you know, technology, that's the thing with it. Yeah, 1 sec. We tried desktop. Okay. Okay. So you can see it online? Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Anne. Again, she's in South Africa. She's in an Uber. She's on her way to pick up her car. It's getting kind of dark. She's talking to the Uber driver. She's packing her bag. And she's also working on her work email, right? So she gets this email and she says, update now, without thinking about it. And malware gets installed. It's called a Trojan horse. It comes in really nicely and it makes a mess, right? She doesn't have access to her phone. She doesn't have access to her email. Her work is like altered, right? So she goes ahead and she takes it to IT. And what I didn't tell you about Anne is that Anne creates content for HPE. So IT says, well, since you did this and installed this malware, you have to take this training. Anne created that training a year ago. So the message of the story is, we keep thinking that if we get into a fraud, it's because there's some technical data that we don't manage, right? Yeah. But even the most technical people are affected by what's currently happening. So I'm going to give you some tips today, and we're going to look into it. So like Loredana introduced me. I'm Gloriana. Like 8 months ago, my mom, who's 80, kept telling me all these stories about fraud. And I said, listen, I'm going to go and I'm going to work on a presentation for you. And she's very energetic. My sister knows. So she invited her friends to come and pray for wine and snacks. And she said, and you're going to bring Gloriana an envelope and we're going to pay her and she's going to give us a fraud class. And that's how it started. When I sent out the information, my friend said, well, I want to learn AI, and that's kind of like what I've been doing on the side. Okay, so AI is changing the way we're looking at virtual reality, or like what we're looking online. So in these two pictures, so when ChatGPT came out in 2019, it was really bad. Most of it like was fake. All of the pictures were like bad. But if you go in now, everything's so realistic and there's so much you can do and so fast. Like I went the other day into Gemini and the machine can look into 100 websites in less than 15 minutes and do deep research and then do like a mind map. Like it's mind blowing what they can do. So take a look at these pictures and let me know which one, raise your hand if you think the first one is real, and like raise one finger if you think the first one is real, or two fingers if you think the girl in pink, the second one is real. Okay, so we have a mixed audience. The real picture is the one on the left. So everything you get now is very hard to tell the difference because it's almost identical. What it can't do at this time, it used to have like, if you asked for AI, it had like eight fingers. Now it doesn't have that issue, but it does have an issue with the hand. So if you look at this girl, like the AI couldn't really get the hand. But the message here is very hard to tell. Yeah. And it's so easy to create content. Like if you get an email from the bank, somebody just went online and said, do an email from the bank. A lot of AI is like captured by ethics. Like some of the things that it cannot do is being held by ethics saying, well, we can't do this for you, right? So today, we're gonna go through big data and AI. We're gonna talk about the difference between a fraud and a scam. We're gonna talk about the emotional journey, like Anne, right? She was multitasking when it happened. If not, it wouldn't have happened. It's that emotional journey. We're gonna talk about types of scams, and what I brought is Costa Rica scams, and then I'll quiz you on it. So it's kind of like our reflection. Okay. So again, AI works with big data, right? So data right now. So data right now. Okay, so data right now is kind of like money, right? It's what's feeding AI. It's like machine learning, like the machines are learning based on data that we provide. And you no longer need to be an expert on it. She's in a meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about myself in the sense that I don't have a lot of online presence. Like I hardly answer to my friends in Facebook. I post, but not often. In LinkedIn, I post, but not often. So you could say that I'm like an average person in terms of where I am in the world. But when you look up in technology before we used to see like, I don't know, we saw the computers being created, then we saw the iPhones and we were immersed in the phones, and then we saw like virtual reality. But now technology is like immersed. We're like, it's in everything we do. So let's take a look about my life that I think I don't have any data out there. So in medical records, I take my kid to Metropolitano every time he has like a cold. And when they run up, they say, is it this kid or that kid? Does he have what he had last time, or does he have what he had, what he, like when he broke his arm, right? Do you want to see the doctor you saw like 2 years ago, or do you want to see this one? So it's in there. Automercado. Automercado probably could run data on me of how much I spent, and they would know that I don't buy the meat with them. Now, I consider myself a busy person, so sometimes I call Automercado because I don't even go online, and they have my list. And I'll say, listen, I want these 10 items. And she'll say, do you want queso Monterrico? And I'll say, yes, queso Monterrico. I won't change my cheese because that's the cheese Automercado knows and it's in the list. In Waze, when I get into my car on Sunday, I have my preferences marked down. So on Sunday, if it's before noon, it will say, are you going to Tito's Matamoros? Meaning, are you going to my mother's house? If I'm there after noon, like past 12 o'clock, it will say, are you going to Tito's Mentes? Because it's already seen the pattern that what we do is we take our kids first to my mother and then we take it to the in-laws. So Netflix, if you sit in my house and you watch TV, there's 4 profiles. My husband that has documentaries and war and like everything that is a documentary and I would say educational. If you look at my kids, it's all soccer. And if you look at mine, it's all romance, and starting in October, it's Christmas. So what happens with this? The worlds we live in only have one profile. So my husband's never seen my information, and I've never seen his. Meaning I don't get Netflix is telling me what I watch, and I watch more of the same. So one night I pick up my kid, I go at midnight, right? And I sit down on the couch and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna binge on Love is Blind, where they get married in like a month and nobody watches that show except me. And I watched like 6 chapters, right? Because it's like, we have nothing to do the next day. He goes in the afternoon and logs in. He's like, what the hell did you do to my Netflix? He's like, it went nuts. It's like documentary about the man who had a fraud and love scams and all of this, like Netflix trying to tell him what to. It's altering his information. So that same thing happens in Facebook. But this is how it gets very tricky in the world we live in. So if we have a belief or we think like this is true, like immigrants in this data. And we watch it for more than 30 seconds, that's all that we're gonna see. But somebody else doesn't believe in that. They think we have no immigrants. I'm just putting an example, right? That's all they're gonna see. So our world is getting polarized in that sense. And the only way to change it is to change the algorithm, right? So I dated when I was 15, I went on an exchange program and dated this kid. A friend of mine comes from Washington and we talk about him. So we look him up in Facebook, but we look up all the pictures, right? And the next day I wake up and I see him and his wife having breakfast, his girl going to lunch, and I'm like, oh my God, how do I get rid of it? I had to tell Facebook to snooze him, right? To change the algorithm because he thought that was the most important thing in my life and all we were doing were joking. So we have to make sure that we understand that everything we watch online is not necessarily we triggered it, right? Okay, Alexa. I don't have an Alexa, but Thursday, I went to a coaching class in Curriabat, and I got there an hour early, but my mother-in-law lives there. So I go and I knock on the door and nobody answers, and I'm like ringing the doorbell, right? And my sister-in-law, who lives like across the street, she comes over and opens the door. She's like, Grandma isn't here. What did you want? And I'm like, I just want to take a nap because I'm too early for my class. I'm like, how did you know? I rang the doorbell. She's like, our Alexa is connected. So when you rang the doorbell, since they use the same account, it says, there's someone at the door. Well, Alexa says it in Spanish, someone's at the door. And that's what she knew. It wasn't her house, so she came over. When I go to my friend's house, Diana, she voice trained the Alexa for her dog. So when her dog barks, Alexa goes, quiet, Paco, quiet, right? In WhatsApp, now you have Meta, right? So you can ask it anything and it's gonna start giving you your preferences. In Amazon, you notice like I go and I buy red shoes. I wanna buy red shoes and then I change my mind, it's too expensive. And then I think the universe shows it up in my Facebook and says like, you want red shoes? And I search the internet and there's like red shoes. And it's like, whatever I do will get triggered everywhere. The pay as you go, like the on-time card. My kids are teenagers, right? So the one who's 17, he goes to the beach. He doesn't want to call me. And when I call, he hangs up and he says, what do you want? Like, that's how it is. But I know that he went to Pops because I get an instant message. I know where they had dinner, right? Because every time he runs his debit card, it comes in an instant to me. Parking lot. Like if you go to Multiplaza could tell you the brand of car I have, right? Because they give you, they register on your license plate when you come in. And it would probably give you the pattern that I like to go there Sundays before 8 o'clock. Because I like this non-lactose, non-sugar ice cream. And I like when it's almost gonna close and nobody in my family wants to go with me, right? So for somebody that has a private life, everything is out there, right? And this started a long time ago. So I don't know if you're familiar with the case from Target. This is a case in 2012. So 2012 is like a long time ago. So it's a man that goes to Target and says, I'm gonna sue you because you keep sending these paper notifications to my daughter and online about pregnancy and my motherhood. And she was pregnant. So how does Target know that? Like Automercado, like PriceSmart, like Fresh Market, they all have an ID for you. And if they don't have an ID, your credit card has like an ID, an identifier. And she would buy like vitamins in aisle 8, and then she would buy something in aisle 12. So it's not like they tracked her. It's just that if somebody actually works with the data, they would say, these two things have a pattern, and I'm gonna go ahead and send her these mail things. So the commitment that Target had to avoid that, because they said, I'm not sharing that data. I don't know who she is. I don't really, right? It's not personal. What they do is they send you something random. So Target will know now if somebody else is pregnant, but they'll send them a mowing lawnmower, or like something from like the, I don't know, from like weights department, something random. but they'll send you the target. And that happens, right, with other places we're online. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So we're gonna transition over to what's a fraud and what's a scam. And they're very different in the sense when you go to a bank and you complain. And the problem with it is that people get very frustrated, and it's very sad because if you get scammed, the bank really doesn't have anything to do with it. So let me see. If it's a fraud, for example, they have some of your data, like maybe they have your credit card, and they act like they're you, right? They maybe, one of the frequent ones is maybe they pay like Uber Eats, like a person in my class the other day, she's like, I didn't find out till like later on because she never reviewed her statements, and they were like small meals going on for a while or something like that. So if you go to a bank, right, somebody's stolen your identity clearly and you change your credit card. That is if it's a fraud. If it's a scam, there's a third party. So the first one is they have some data. They might not have everything, but they have some data. Again, they play the same. In this case, they act like there's someone you can trust. It's somebody you trust, you know, or you think is very reliable. And they require immediate attention. And then there's the third option, which is we participate. So when somebody goes to a bank and says, listen, I got a fraud, they took out this money. There was something in that transaction that you participated in. So it's very hard to get that money, and that's kind of like what's happening frequent. But we're gonna look through them. Okay. So all of these happen with an emotional journey. And I mentioned Anne's case because we don't need to be technical. We just need to have our emotions in control. So we're back to what we learned a long time ago, which is presence, mindfulness, really being in the conversation. And that way we can avoid a fraud. Because three things need to take place when there's a fraud. The first one, a personal situation. Where am I at that time? So for example, Correo de Costa Rica, most of you probably have gotten the message in an SMS saying you have a package and it can't be delivered because you have the wrong address. Personal situation. When I got it, I had just had my whole department push out the face-to-face to go into California because my passport wasn't ready. So I got super anxious. So they caught me in a personal situation that is similar. Emotions. You're super excited, right? I think I went too fast through I went through too fast through that one that has both emotions, but it's emotions. Either you're too happy or you're scared, or there's like some fear, like there's an emotion that is triggered in you. And the last one, the most important one, the level of attention that you pay when something takes place. And I'll go through these three in different cases that we're gonna see. Okay. So this is kind of like a parenthesis. I want you to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm really special. I'm confident, I have many friends, I have the Professional Women's Network, I've created a wonderful life, I'm like amazing, I'm very special. So make sure you take that in and you say, I am very special. We're all set that we're very special, right? Well, if somebody calls you with your personal information, they know your partner, they know your place of work or where your house is located, do not feel special. Do not feel special. Do not feel that they gonna help you, and take your time, listen, or read through the fine print. So reading through the fine print has become so important. So I saw the other day in La Nación, it said, a party of underage minors, 800 were caught with liquor taken out of the party, and the alcohol was in coffins. And I was like, my kids are 15 and 17, right? So you can't click unless you have the payment. And I click, right, I have a paid access. It happened in the States, they're under 21 and it's a Halloween party, right? So you have to, like, we're in a world now where the digital content moves so fast that it's no longer fine to read the heading. And that's the same with the fine print, right? So Anne, if you read Anne's notice, it said your Uber is gonna be discontinued or something like that. Like there was an urgency, but she didn't read it like I didn't read it when we saw it, right? So there's always a sense of urgency. So types of fraud. When we talk about fraud in Costa Rica, I hear people saying, well, they're in La Sabana, they're in La Reforma. There's a constant complaint that it's in Costa Rica and that it's here and that we're not controlling it. But that's not it. We got to look beyond it. This is a worldwide issue. And I know I'm talking about fraud because that is the focus, but there's the fact that AI is created also allows us to stop fraud. Like there's way of monitoring it better than they were before. The fact that you get on time when somebody accesses like your bank, you get like an on-time statement. There's like information that comes in. So there's like a lot of really good things now that is happening. So we're focusing on fraud, but there's also the side of there's so much more you can do to prevent fraud. Okay, so the most famous case in Costa Rica where we look outside the box was the ransom Conti. I don't know if any of you remember Conti. Conti was they were hackers from Russia, and they stopped the Caja Costarricense de Seguro Social and they couldn't access it, right? So what was in the newspaper was the lines were delayed and people were losing their appointments. No, that's not it. My kid goes to Hospital de Niños, he gets like follow-up for different things. And when I talk to the doctor, he's like, it's so bad. I couldn't print anything out. And the type of customers that I get, or the type of patients that I get, the mother would come in and I'd be like, what does he have? And she'd be like, that thing there in the stomach, you know, the one you always say he has. Oh, okay. Does he have appendicitis? Did he have this? And she didn't know. And what is he taking? Those white pills they always send me, right? So it's like it took them back. The fact that they stopped the access to it, it wasn't that there were delayed appointments. It was that they'd have to go back all the way back and start with a customer, right? Because they didn't have access to that data or they didn't have that information. So there's a lot of fancy, I call it like mumbo jumbo in the fraud world. But I want us to think about it in fishing. Think about it fishing like you're a fish, like you go fishing. Phishing is when somebody access you by email and you think it's somebody you can trust. It's like a family member, a friend, a bank. You think you can trust it, or PayPal or anything like that. That's what's called phishing. Now with AI, what phishing does is you can tell a machine to send 1,000 emails every minute if you wanted to with this format, right? So it's like, it's so fast that you can distribute. So in this phishing emails, the attack measure, the ways they access us varies, but they always have the same emotional factor, which is what we can control, which is either we're too excited or we're kind of like in fear. So again, phishing is when it comes over email, but if we're going to take a key takeaway, just use the word phishing because people use it for voicemail, for text message, even though that's not it. Yes, go ahead.
Quick question, phishing, does it notify you that this email is phishing?
No,
How do you separate?
you have to look into the details. Like if it's a mail from your sister and she's asking for money, you have
So
to,
there's no phishing.
no.
Yeah.
Because they're sending it from a real address, but it's not the real person that you know, right? So that's the attention is in the details. It's like, we're gonna look into a few examples. So there's phishing the general, they send it to everybody. They're like trying to find a fish, right? Then there's spear phishing. Now they found you because you took an action, and we're gonna look into it. Spear phishing is like, now it's focused on you. And whaling is also like a type of phishing, but they're looking for a big whale. They're looking for like a top executive, somebody like with a lot of like financial, they'll study that person. Okay, so I mentioned phishing that I thought it would be good for you to remember, but they all have different names. So if it comes over email, it's phishing. If it's a phone call, it's called phishing. And if it's a text message, it's called smishing. So just like we have a university of everything good that happens, there's also kind of like a university of everything that's like out there. But they all follow the same social manipulation. They make you think it's somebody you can trust and you're going to take an action. But if you have presence and you're mindful and you take the extra steps to double check, you should be fine. The other types of fraud are tailgating, which means, for example, if I'm at HP or if I'm at Intel or if I'm a bank, I have like a card where I go and I swipe it to go into a specific area. It's a restricted access. In tailgating, when you swipe your card, somebody else, like, it's so much fun, and it's like saying good morning, pura vida, and coming in with you. That's what it means. They tailgate off you. Or they might say, oh, I forgot my card. Can I go in with you? And you open it because you're very nice. That's what tailgating is. And the other key item that I want you to remember is farming. We use fishing. We talked about fishing, and now it's farming with a PH. So the way farming for me, that I remember farming is, you know, like when you're a farm and you go and you plant, like you farm to grow something. You put your seeds on the ground and you have a plant, you let a plant grow. For me, farming is like that. You're planting your data in somewhere else. It looks like what you think it's gonna be. It looks like it's your bank. It looks like you're talking to your sister, but it's not. You're in another website. But we're gonna notice, I'm gonna show you some examples of how you can tell. Before that, some data. So in Costa Rica has experienced 668% increase in banking fraud over the past 4 years. That's mostly because, right, we came into pandemic and we were all online and it totally changed it. Social media identity has almost doubled, but we're gonna talk about it. Delitos informáticos, where you go and you say somebody came into my PC, went from 14 cases to 27 in 2024. In 2023, Costa Rica had 819 cyber attacks per week, and now we're in 2025. So for the Caja, we didn't pay the hackers, which wanted 10 million, but they did have to invest 25 million into security in the systems. And just like there's fraud, there's like a lot of prevention, right? I'm only focusing on one side, but there's a lot of really cool stuff, right? If you go in back, you have a token, there's face recognition, there's apps, like there's a lot of security. And you have, if you use the right ones, if you use like your, I don't know, your Face ID or your token and you're in internet, in your house, in the right address, I mean, you have already like 3 different barriers that you overcome, right? So we're gonna start going one by one. The first one in the emotional journey is when it's too good to be true. So this one says, you've been chosen for a part-time, full-time online. The work is simple. There's no time limit. There's no limit to where you can work. This is the money. And they also make you feel special because if you're under 25, you can participate. So you're like, wow, I meet the quota, right? So it seems very simple where you're like, oh no, let's look at the other one. The other one is Amazon, and it even has a typo. I'm the general manager of Amazon, and I'm actually recruiting for a part-time, and they want you. So these are real examples that have come to me, but they're also targeted. So when I worked at Intel for 18 years, and when they said like a few years ago that they had closed the factory before, and then they said that they were hiring back again, right? I was working at a fintech then, and a friend called and said, listen, because he knew, like, I still knew a lot of people from Intel. He's like, they send me like these messages and they want me back as a technician. And they're like, but it's kind of weird. I have to go into these sites and I have to put like my bank information, and I don't feel too comfortable for it, but they know everything that I've done. And I'm like, that sounds like a scam. And I'm like, who sent it? And he's like, so-and-so at AOL.com. And I'm like, AOL is like really old. Like, I don't know, there's AOL, there's Yahoo, which I have. The other day I went somewhere and I told the lady at yahoo.com and she didn't know how to spell it, because now the world's like in Gmail. So I'm like, AOL, nobody would use an AOL in a real tech company. And he's like, no, Blo, you don't understand. He told me everything I've achieved. And I'm like, he probably went into LinkedIn, but it's okay. I told him, okay, I'm going to go and check in for you. That's the emotional journey, right? It's in the position. He's looking for a job. They're making him really happy. And all we're kind of working is his attention span. So I call my friend from HR. I tell him, and she's like, no, it's a scam. We only have careers.intel.com. It's really hard to apply. You know how it is. And if he's worked it before, yes, we'll check on him, but we wouldn't like proactively do that. So I let him know, and he's like, you don't understand. And that's where we left it at, right? So at some point, the emotional journey is stronger than what actually happens. Questions? Okay. There's a story about a Tigo lady. I don't know if you've all, her internet's down, right? It's a lady, her internet's down and she's super frustrated. So she calls Tigo and she gets really upset and she argues with them and she starts like screaming at them, and the audio filters. And she kept saying, I'm trabajando, like I'm working. And the whole thing with all these memes and stuff that came up in this Costa Rican lady is that the Tigo guy is so patient, right? Because he had to explain all of the actions. And he was like, there was a meme like, I want to have the peace that the Tigo guy has. Now, I put this in here and I don't know if everybody can relate to it, but I want you, like, the way to find out if something that you receive is fake or not is to act like you're the call center of the Tigo guy. So you're in a call center. So let me show you. The first one is, it says mission, right? It came in as text. Again, think of it as phishing, but it's mission because it came in as a text. And it says Netflix, your subscription has been suspended. Initiate the session at this one. Now imagine somebody calling a call center and says, yes, I have, like, imagine it's a real call center and you want somebody to go online and you would say, well, it's Netflix, a line in the middle. What do you mean line in the middle? Underscore or underscore? Where is that in my keyboard? Do you have a Mac or do you have a PC? Well, it's the one in the middle. Oh, I already wrote it. Did you write it in the short one or did you write the right one, right? And it's like, he has to mention it 3 times. So if you ever read like an address and it's very hard to read, it's fake. And Costa Rica does a great job in cleaning up. Like if you go online and you look for Bacredomatic, for a Banco Nacional, for everything, they clean up all the spam around it. Like they have all these fraud preventions, and it's not like you go in there and there's 3 options. They've purchased everything with they've purchased everything online with that. Okay, and that one is from Correos de Costa Rica. So imagine if you had to tell somebody when they call Correos de Costa Rica, it's /T.LYL/ and then Correos and the G and then so forth. And sometimes they might put like an address that is real, but there's a fake one. So the real is just so you click in there and you see Correos de Costa Rica. So how do you prevent this? You go to the source, right? So where I had that issue with the passport, and I got the Correos, like we're not delivering on time. I was like, it caught me in that moment. emotional journey. I can't believe I failed again, right? First, I had to delay the face-to-face, and now I couldn't even get my passport. I'm like the worst of the worst. And then the level of attention, I say, no, I'm gonna go into the official website. So I go online, Google Correo de Costa Rica, look for an option, and it says, if your passport is in process of being delivered, look at this paper, fill this in, and it said it won't be ready for a few days. So go back to the source of the data. Any questions? Yeah.
How would the correct link look like?
So if you're a company, imagine yourself, like put yourself in that call center position. If you're a company,
We didn't hear, so. The question was, what would a correct link look like versus these ones, which are not?
okay, so if you were like if you had like a real company, a large company like Netflix, you would buy something that is so easy to read out, right? Like Netflix.com or like Netflix, I don't know. Or it's Correo de Costa Rica, you would never have something that is hard to read out for an audience. And that's kind of like the basic. If it's a legit large company, you would have like a legit, easy to spend address. And that's kind of it, the summary of it. Yes.
But the one that's from Correos de Costa Rica looks awfully.
So that's what I mentioned, that one of them might be real. One of them might be real. Well, this one's fake. Yeah. It's a dot.
But not the top one, right?
Yeah,
Is that fake, the top one?
that top one, yes, Correo de Costa Rica. So this is interesting. I'm glad you pointed out. So this is the link probably, and this is probably like the real one. So that they're probably not related. I don't know. I never click on them. But I'm thinking that might be the thing, that might be that when you click on that, and the other one is like the real, because the government is go.cr, so that would be like a real address. But they put in two, so you would click on the fake one, and this is just like ornaments in the mail for confusion. And that's what I said, read the fine print, right? Double click and question it. Yeah, you have a question.
Not a question, I just said comment, I just never clicked on this.
Yeah.
How would they ever, how would Net, I mean, I have Net for years. And they sent me a message like that, and I might learn, you get these random emails that they great, but never click on them, stuff they go there.
And that's what it
If
is.
you actually want to go to France, you do what you do, Google it, okay, first, I do it from bank, so you know exactly which one you're going to, which address. Google.
And that's totally-
Send you a message
and-
like this, it's just totally.
Right, and that's totally what you have to do. The thing is, sometimes we're caught in that emotion where we feel like special, like, oh, they're asking me, like this one for Netflix. It was my brother's mother-in-law. She lives in San Jose Aurola, she didn't have Netflix. So they hid in that portion where she's like, but she didn't click on the link. She called Netflix, and Netflix, when she tried to read the email, they said it's fake. Like she couldn't even get through like half of it. But yes, that's what you should do. Always the source of the data, because with phishing or vishing and all of this, it's all massive. It doesn't even have your name, and sometimes it'll have your name, but it's massive.
So is there something you can do, like if you fire like something, like it, oh, is there any, I mean, are you like, that's, you know, can you turn on, does it help to turn on the phone? I know like on your computer, you'll get like a antivirus installed.
If you have the antivirus, it would work, and there's a firewall. I don't know. I think it depends on the malware. Like in the case of her, that was she installed in her phone. It just went in like a Trojan horse, that they call it, because it went and made a mess when it went the other way. But I'm thinking, yeah, I'd rather not answer as on a safety bet, because I don't really know. My suggestion would be, don't click it, and if you click it, be conscious that you just did that. Okay, this one is from Ruta 27. So imagine that I'm going to Peninsula Osa, and I have to drive 5 hours, and then I get, starting today, you're about to be included in the blacklist, because they're always urgent, because you haven't paid. Immediately go to this is.gd/9MZED7, right? And it says, and they want to make it legit, so they say you have a payment of an infraction and reference that number. And if, I'm sure if you click that number, maybe they have something that's saying you past due in money, whatever. But I owe them nothing. And I didn't click on it. But I also want you to take back that it might be a legitimate mail. So I used to get all these Claro mails saying, you're about to be on the blacklist, we're about to charge you, you haven't paid, and I got him over mail, and I got him over text. And I was like, I always thought it was fishy. But one day I said, I'm gonna stop it, I'm gonna go to Claro. So I went to Claro and I owed them money. I owed them 20,000. The thing is, when I moved into ICE, Claro transferred everybody, all of their old clients to this, like, they call it like one of those companies that just ask you for your money. And they're gonna get a percentage of what they recover. Yeah, a collecting agency. That's why they were so aggressive. But I was fine. It was the day I went to an ice cream. I went for an ice cream earlier and I cleared it up because I was confused. I kept getting these emails that looked like so aggressive and so fake, but it were so constant. So for me, but I did owe them 20,000. Okay, so they all have the same line. They have a hard, strange link, which would be hard to read. You need to provide the information. So in all of them, if you look at them, they were massive. They were massively sent out, and you need to provide the information. And they all have a sense of urgency. Like Correo de Costa Rica is going to deliver my package back to the States in 24 hours. Imagine the efficiency, right? Sometimes in the one on the right, I think it says 12 hours. But in the one on the right has something that is interesting where they send it massively to everybody. Look at it. Look at the mail it came from. HSHXC61@hotmail.com. Like more fake couldn't be. And they say, please reply 1 or 2. Like they ask you for an action. And if you respond to that action, that's what's called spear phishing. So they send it out to 1 million people. And then you answer it back. And now they're back. And now they say, okay, forget those 1,000, let's work with these. And that's what's called spear phishing. Now they're after you. Now they'll go ahead and try to see if they can find the number to match something else. Okay, the thing with this emotional journey is it's very tricky. Is this moving for you? Yeah. Well, it's a picture, so it shouldn't be moving, but it moves because that's what our mind does. Our mind accommodates things in patterns. So in this one, it's like a circular pattern and it'll accommodate that in a circular pattern. So why is that a problem? And why do we have to double click on the lines on them? So this one, I got this invoice from PayPal. And it's service@paypal.login.com. So when I first read it, it's what happened. My mind accommodated it. It said at paypal.com, like I think it's legit, unless I go back and I read the details. Just because, you know, when you're reading something and somebody has a lot of typos and you could still read through it, that's kind of what your mind does. So that's why you have to like take extra care and look into it. So that one is, yeah, it's fake for that reason. Then this one in Outlook. This one in Outlook, again, they make it look really legit and they have all these credentials, all these support cases. I'm gonna be automatically eliminated from Outlook. But when I look at the sender, it's the technical team at Microsoft with a name at Hotmail, right? So just double check the details because I don't know, they say something like the devil is in the details or something like that. Like, yeah. Okay. Emotional journey. So my husband gets a call, like for somebody to know that I'm married, let's just say on a weekend, every time I take my kids somewhere at a gated community, I leave my cedula. When I go to Fresh Market, I scream it out at the cashier. When I forget it like it's everywhere, right? And with my cedula, they can look at my husband. So the fact that they call my husband and they know about me is like, just everybody knows that. And my kids, when they were 10 and 12, they double check somebody's dad online. Like it's like very easy. So my husband gets a call and says, Gloriana ran out $440 on Amazon. Do you want to stop it? And he's like, yes, I want to stop it. What was the emotional background in the moment that he found? I have used the credit card sometimes too much. Like now it's in the safety box and I don't use it, but that's why we're still married after 20 years. But before I used to swipe it and then I'd get into these complaints, right? So emotional journey, he remembered that sometimes I use it like that and it's crazy. He gets really upset. He's gonna stop it. And then they say, if you want to stop, we're gonna transfer you to somebody. And he's sitting in a meeting. He says he's sitting in a meeting with a bunch of people. So they transfer him, he doesn't pay attention. And then he goes back to the same lady. So the same lady says, do you want to stop it? Sir, we need your help. And he's like, yes, yes, yes. So he's still multitasking, right? He has people from work and he's talking to, and they're really loud, and they transfer him back. And then they transfer him back to the lady because he's not paying attention. So he tells this is him letting me know. He tells the audience, everybody guys, be quiet. This is like the third time that my wife's running up my card, right? So it's quiet and it says, please type in the 3 digits from the back of your card. And he's worked in the back. And he's like, if they would have been half quiet, I would have probably typed it because I was doing something else. And then he's like, it's a scam, and he let it go. So you verbally cannot share your PIN to anybody, right? It was created for you to just go online on a specific platform or at a specific, very safe transaction that you purchase and so forth. Yeah.
Were you talking about your?
The back of the card, the three numbers. Sometimes they ask for it if it's if you're buying, let's say, like a ticket or with Backredomatic, it's like secure sites. There's some secure sites. But for example, if I was buying shoes for a store that is closing or something like that, that sounds like very fishy. So you want to make sure that you double check where you're typing it, that it's legit. But sometimes, but you will be typing it. You would verbally not be saying it. That would be step number 1, right? But you would also need to check on the site where you do that. Okay, so this is Claudia, my roommate from college. Now the difference between Claudia and me is she walked graduation with like a bunch of like awards, right? So she's one of the smartest people I know. So Claudia lives in Boston. She gets an app 15,000 failed transaction in her Apple Pay. So she calls Banco Santander and she says, listen, they just they tried to run 15,000. I think they have my card. I want to cancel it. So she cancels it, changes her card number very quickly and calls Apple. And Apple says, yeah, we'll change it. And she changes it in Apple Pay, end of story. She starts getting these calls, but she doesn't answer. She's very smart. She doesn't answer to anybody that she doesn't know. So she's like, it's fake. And then one time she's about to go into coaching. She coaches us in 4 different languages. So I want to emphasize this is somebody like really smart. And she's about to get into her coaching, that she provides coaching. And she sees like a call that says Apple. Maybe it's like a WhatsApp and somebody put themselves as Apple or something like that, but she picks up. She picks up and they say where somebody's trying to run $1,000 on this credit card. She's like, don't worry about it. I don't have it anymore. I changed it. I'm all set. And then they change the story and they say, but it's Apple. We're Apple and we want to help you. So what they do is they go into her account, and they trigger like a startup. You know, when you go into Banco Nacional or back and you say, I forgot my PIN, they send you like a 4-digit that you're gonna use for the next transactions. They make sure that they double verify with the mail, right? So they trigger that on Apple. She gets that number. And then they say, and all you need is to give us those numbers and we're gonna stop it. And she gives them the number. She's about to go in her coaching class and they're like, oh, and at the bottom of the mail, just double check it, just click like accept. And she's already talked to Apple, so she feels very comfortable. And what she clicks without reading the fine print is, you just change your PIN number. Are you okay? And she confirmed it. So they locked her out. They locked her out of her computer, but her computer included 60,000 photographs because that's what she does. She loves from her life. that disappeared from Germany to Barcelona to Boston. So again, the verbal communication of a PIN number. And in this case, in those cases, they're sending it from the legit site, right? They went into Apple and they created the account. Yeah.
This is happening, anybody that sells stuff online, you might have had much.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but let's say quickly that somebody calls, so this has happened to me a few times because I sell a lot of stuff online. So somebody calls and he has an American accent. In fact, he has an accent from where I'm from, New York, just coincidentally. So I immediately felt like more comfortable talking to him. And they get online with Banco Nacional. And it's a very, it sounds very legit. The person that's from Banco Nacional, you know, like the way they talk in the banks. And they just try to get the same thing and try to get the PIN. And I mean, I've almost like fallen into it. And I'm really trying to be really careful. Like you say, you want to buy this car, I want to give you a down payment. You can't get online. I don't know. It's happened to a lot of English speakers.
I've heard that story personally.
Yeah.
The fact that he's American makes him like more legit because I've heard that story. Like they think that they're helping him out because that's the story, right? You're being helped out or you're helping out. Yeah.
I just want to ask you, what would be the purpose of locking someone out of their computer? Just, I don't understand this in.
They have her iCloud. They have her iCloud and her iCloud might have important information. They might have pins, passwords, data of where she worked at, right? It's like everything that she saved online. So she had to go back and make sure that like her life profile is in there, kind of. Yeah.
A little bit different. What is it when people?
What is it when somebody asks for, it appears to be legitimate. In this case, it's my post office box. And they ask for a copy of different documents to prove who you are, like a passport and so forth. And you have to provide 2 of those, or they're not going to continue to rent you the post office box. And I didn't do it because I thought I'm giving photos of documents that I'm not sure of what the purpose of this is and whether it's legitimate. Have you ever encountered anything like that?
So Costa Rica uses like the ID, like the cellular or the passport, like it's nothing, right? They ask all of Americans to register it with a passport number, but if they called you, I would never give it. I would always be the one. I would always be generating that.
Well,
initial.
it was an email, and then I thought, well, I'm gonna approach this from another angle, and I contacted the post office itself separately. And I wrote to them, and I was planning to call as well. I said, I'm not sure if you're who the email said you were. If you write or call me to confirm that you need this information, I'll be glad to provide it, but otherwise I won't. And I never heard from them.
So there's a few things, I don't know that story, but there's a few things that are common. One, you got a mail that you weren't expecting. 2, there was a sense of urgency because they were gonna lock you out, which is like the second trigger. And third one, they were asking for your information. They didn't have it. So I think you did the right thing, right? If they didn't ask, you want to double check, call, but I think you did the right thing. We have to go to the source of the data.
Okay, thank you very much. I feel better about it.
Okay, so what's up? The latest scam is that, yeah, go ahead, you had a question.
I just wanted to mention that the emotional factor is so strong. I had a friend who got a call also about something urgent, that somebody was using her car to buy stuff in Amazon and she needed to stop it. And she was with 2 friends who were telling her, it's a scam, don't do it. And she got very angry with her friends, asked them to leave, gave them all the information about 2 different bank accounts, which had nothing to do anyway with the credit card. And they stole about $20,000. Yeah, and they never helped her, even though the bank, there was, it was clear who got the money out. They had the name of the person and, but the bank never helped.
So imagine if you're a bank and you have all these people that are providing like their PIN numbers, which are safety, or going online and providing their card information. I would put myself in those shoes and think it's really hard, right? Because they didn't trigger that information. But like you mentioned, the emotional factors, like my friend, he kept saying, Glo, you don't understand with the job. And I had already called HR. I'm hoping that he didn't go through with it, but that's like where it left off. So this is the last one on WhatsApp. It's like you're feeling special. Technical support is calling you again. Somebody else is asking for your device, and you have to click yes or no. So with what we've learned, right? You're doing. It went phishing. It went massive, right? And this one it's like phishing. Forget or smishing. I forget. So it went massive. And they put in the information, and they provide a legit WhatsApp site to make you think, like your brain thinks that it's legit. But why would this mail be legit from that phone number? Right? So when one of my friends tells me, Glo, she puts in a chat, she's like, Glo, I just got this. Do you think it's real or not? I went ahead into the group chat, I changed the profile to this picture, put in the picture, and put in the phone, put in the same text. And I'm like, do you think it's legit? And she's like, oh, you're terrible. Right? Because all I wanted to show is it's so easy what they did, right? And how WhatsApp wasn't gonna do that. So we're feeling special that they're gonna help us. In this case, if you answer back, then they ask you, again, they trigger the legit request for a change in WhatsApp with a 4-digit code that you provide to avoid being hacked, but you're giving the information. But you can tell if it's a legit company because the WhatsApp has it verified. So it changed the color, but I didn't change it yesterday. So real companies have verified accounts, and it's that circle in the top right. So it used to be green. They changed it a few days ago to blue because green was like people would think something else of it. But like PriceSmart has it, or like different places have it, and it's like the company is verified in WhatsApp. So like cash for money transfers, like some of those, like it would be like a legit company. Okay, farming. There's two things I wanted you to take out. One is fishing, right? Which we said it comes out to everyone, and the other one is farming. Putting your data or planting your seed in a different site. So this one has me very upset, and that's why I started these trainings. It's the one from municipalidades. So if you go to a municipalidad, you probably need to take a number, you need to sit down, and it's gonna take a while. But you're feeling very special. They are proactively calling you and telling you that you owe money, and they have some information. They know where you live. They provide you with this really long list of numbers, which might be true or not true. I haven't verified. But the emotional factor, like you mentioned, is so strong that we sat at lunch, and one of my in-laws' aunts had a fraud at the Moravia Municipalidad. So we have the conversation at lunch. We say, we can't believe she fell for the scam. And the next week, they had called a family member from the Municipalidad de Puerto Jiménez, which is really far away. He thinks that perhaps they're calling him because he really owes the money, and it's a different case, right? And he provides the information, and 7 days had gone by, and we had two family frauds. So what do? The first thing, this is like the phishing email. The phishing email comes in and says, today the municipalidad typos, right? It has no accents. I know I don't put an accent sometimes, but a municipalidad should send you like a legit, at least they should have spell checked it. And it's saying you have a benefit of 6 months that is going to help you. It's so exciting. They're giving you money. The emotional factor, right? It's like, I'm getting money back. The government wants to benefit you, and because of the late 19830, nobody knows any laws unless you go and Google them, so you think it's like legit. And it started in COVID, and COVID changed everything, so it's like related, right? So that's how they do it over email. What they're doing now is they're calling, right? They're calling, like they called my family for 2 different scenarios, where they say they know your name, maybe your family, partner, which everybody knows, even like a security guard anywhere, and that's fine. They know your location, how they know your property. I'm thinking maybe like a lawyer, or maybe there's like a place, I don't know, but, or maybe what they provide to you isn't like really legit information, but some of it is. Maybe they say, oh, Gloriana, it's in Santana, and the number they provide is fake, but that's how they trigger. So they trigger the phone call. They trigger the phone call for a discount for taxes that you need to pay, and they do it in tax season. And a lot of Costa Ricans have fallen for it. The problem is we don't go to the source of the data. So this is the message. If you went to a local de Montedioca, San Pedro, the vicealcaldesa has like a mail printed out saying like, the government, it's important for citizens, this is what you do. If avoid being manipulated, you can call us at this number, guard your information, we're not making any calls, right? So it's in the source, it's in their website, it's in their link. This is the government in their official sites, they alert. They're asking for your certified signature, they're putting up fake places, it's in Misit, it's in IFAM, it's in places. This is the Municipalidad de Cartago. If you go into their Facebook, avoid being a fraud victim, we're not calling. This is the Municipalidad de Heredia. Same thing. Block this message. It's fake. If you receive it from these numbers, they're trying to get into your money. This is the one from San Carlos. So it's happening in the whole country, but people would rather listen to like a text message from some random person that go into the official site. So again, a summary, AI creates massive phishing emails and 54% of them are clicked. This one is from UCR, letting people know that the government or them, they're not sending attachments. So they're sending emails saying, oh, UCR or the government is sending you attachments, but the mail looks weird. So this is a legit mail. Okay. Simpe Móvil. Simpe Móvil is the one you do in your phone. It's a simple transaction. It's very secure. It's very secure, but different things happen with it. Number one, a fake payment. So they do like a quick transaction to somebody, and they copy your name on it and say, oh, I just did this 5,000, and people don't check their account and they immediately send it out because it's so easy. That's one of the ways. The other one is I'm sorry, by error, I deposited into your account and your Simpe. You can fix it by going into this link. So you go into that link and it goes to something that looks similar. And the last one, they tell you Simpe's down your transaction. Again, this is massive, but they find somebody just did a transaction, right? It's like the moment where we feel special because it's massive. Simpe's down. If you just did a transaction, please go into this link or website to fix it. And again, you farm you do farming. You go and you put your data in a non-legit site. What do? You can verify your bank for any deposit before taking any action. My sister had a case where somebody said, I, by error, mistakenly deposited in your account, and she waited till the next day, asked for their information in the bank account and transferred because it could be true. And don't share any information. But from a system standpoint, the other one is that it's linked to your phone number. So there's a case of a guy that did a video where he changes his phone number, doesn't tell anybody. And then they do the same thing of him. But he also had a prepaid card, so on his phone. So it's like an interesting, but the process, the systematically is very legit and safe. But that's like the scams that I know around it. And I took this from government websites. I didn't come up with this myself. Emotional journey, advanced phishing, dual impersonation. So somebody calls you Bank A saying, we just saw, which was what happened to your friend, I'm sure. We just saw a transaction go through in Banco Nacional, for example, and they think it's a scam and they hang up, right? And then they call and say, hi, I'm from the fraud department. I'm from another department. And we just saw this transaction going into another bank. We want to help you. And then you go and you question, you're like, oh my God, if I would be such a fool if I would attend to these 2 calls, right? And that's how it kind of, but it happens. But it's co-created, right? It's planned. When they call, they also have the second person ready for it. This is an example of whaling in a large business. So this is a legit example. It's a friend of mine, the company wins millions of dollars of a bidding process. It's for the government. It's published online. It's like open. Those licitaciones are open. And the receptionist receives a phone call saying, for this licitación, you need to fill out some data in this official website. I want to talk to the general manager. So the receptionist transferred to the general manager. The general manager is so excited. They just want the licitación and wants the data to be done. The site that they mentioned, the government, sounds legit, but it's not going to be legit, right? Because they're providing the link. And the general manager says, have the IT guy do it. So the IT guy that works on cybersecurity is doing it because the general manager asked him to. So he starts inputting the data, but he doesn't have the bank information. So he calls somebody from accounts payable and they put in the information of Banco Nacional. But she doesn't have all the access. The second access, is by my friend who's a business administrator who has the second level of approval. So she gets called to her desk. She goes and she's like, a site where you can see like when you're typing all of your information, unless there's like an icon, like who called? And they're like, I don't know. And then they go back, and they took the money out of the first account, which didn't really have much. It was for miscellaneous that the lady had. But this is how it becomes on a whaling. They've studied the company. But again, the IT guy or anybody could have stopped it by double checking on the legit site rather than using a link that somebody sent you. Questions? We're going to go into social engineering. So we should be really good at this, right? Because we can spot when a Louis Vuitton is fake or not, or we should, right? But again, the devil's in the details. You have to look clearly into the details. So that's what happens on Facebook. They grab somebody's account and they copy it over with a photograph and it looks legit. But if you looked into the details, like with the Louis Vuitton, you would say that they have no pictures, that they have 3 friends, that they don't have any information. What's the issue? For example, I'm sitting in my bed the other day. I get a friend access from Rodrigo, and I say yes. Rodrigo and I worked 30 years ago, and then I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing? I have no idea. I haven't heard from Rodrigo in 30 years, and I just accepted. I have no idea if it's a real profile, so I unfriend him. But that's the problem with the social integration. So in this case, for Facebook, what they do is, since they create an account that's very similar, not the same, but very similar, they'll send in the mail a messenger asking for money, asking for things like that. So a friend of mine, they copied his nephew's account, and they send the mail through Messenger and says, listen, I'm sending some stuff to Costa Rica. I need $400 for taxes. I'll pay as soon as I get there. So he thinks it's his nephew and he pays $400. And in like 2 seconds, he's like, probably nobody's ever paid so fast, because in 2 seconds, he needed $1,000 more. So I grabbed the phone, I called my sister and I said, listen, this kid just asked me for 100 and 1,000. She's like, he's not sending anything and he would never ask you for money without letting me know. It's a scam, right? But it was very easy to spot that it was a fake account, but we don't go into the details. So it's not the time to read the headlines. It's the time that we go in, double check. So in summary, AI is making fraud more convincing. It's also allowing us to stop fraud. Again, practice mindfulness, right? That's the way we worked before, where we had real conversations, where we took our time to take decisions. We got to go back to that. That's what's going to keep us safe. Identify mysterious emails. If you wouldn't be able to read it in a call center, just don't even acknowledge it. Your PIN number should verbally never be shared. Look for the official sites, look for the official banks. Again, Costa Rica does a great job with dual transactions with official sites. And stay out of phrases that scare you, where it's like you need to update your data, you'll be locked out, you'll lose your information. And now we're going into the quiz. So first one, phishing is impersonating a person or company you trust. Yes for one and no for two. Okay. The second one, why is phishing so successful? They can target thousands of targets at the same time. There's no way to understand where the link goes unless it's clicked, and people find emails easy to trust. A. They target, phishing is like massive. Like you'll be special down the road, but phishing is they send it massive. But it's true, people do trust a lot, mails more than they should. Can you trust emails from family or friends in the case that they're asking for money or something like that, right? No. Okay. And can I verbally tell my partner my 4-digit code? Well, I don't know. I'm not getting involved in that. I'm not sure. But the whole point is you shouldn't, like, unless it's really somebody you trust, you shouldn't, but I'm not getting into that one. Okay. Why is it so risky to feel special with a call? Scammers use this tactic and urgency for you to take action. You'll miss a good opportunity, or you're too smart to be scammed. Okay. A blue check in WhatsApp means the app is up to date, the sender is verified as a real business, or the person is in your contact list. Yeah.
So I got that message, I think, yesterday. Oh, wait, yeah, check, what you just mentioned. So are there, as a business, if you have a WhatsApp business, how do they verify that? Because I was just checking, and like some businesses that I know are legitimate don't, I think they're legitimate, but they don't have to check.
Oh, you have to follow a process. So I work with Cash with like an app, and we follow the process to make sure that people thought it was safe. I don't know what they asked for, but you have to follow a process.
Oh, okay.
So like small companies might not have it, right? But at
Okay.
least you know, like if you're getting a call for, like if you're getting a message from WhatsApp, you could tell that it's legit because of that. Oh, yeah. How quickly could you spot a fake link? It contains odd characters or spellings. What's the biggest risk in deep fakes in Facebook? Your post will go viral, you'll get strange requests, or friends might send money or help you thinking it was that you asked for it. Okay, so thank you. You have questions?
Yes, I wanna tell it also to be very careful with what you purchase online, because I purchased this course for AI. It was only $9 from Udemy, which is a known business. And the next month I got a payment for $40, and it was a recurring payment that unless I had started, it would have continued being there. And I had the same with a face yoga. It was $20 for that, and I thought, oh, great, $20. And the next month, and then I watched another $20, and then I watched a small print, and I haven't been able to shut it off because I can only pause it, but it has not. It says that you can only take it down after $120. I mean, yeah. So the other day I bought also.
There's that buy online.
Yes,
Buy online, that's the problem.
Only buying Amazon or sites like that, because this store is closing,
Yeah, this
everything is 50% off, and I put my credit card, and then I realized that they hadn't asked for my address. So, yeah.
It's too good to be true. So that's their emotional process. It's too good to be true. The store is closing and it's 50% off.
Yeah, and the last thing, Encuentra 24. I put some artwork for sale, and it was very cheap, so nobody contacted me. And then I put an expensive artwork, and I immediately got, oh, I want that artwork. You need to send me and then I got an email, a fake WhatsApp from Encuentra 24, which was fake. In order to receive your money for this artwork, you need to give us your credit card information because the money is going to be sent to your credit card. And as I put my credit card, do not touch anything. And it was like something, it was like that thinking, and then the money was gone, my credit card money was gone.
Because it wasn't like an official site, you should have gone to like the official site, and now you know that the company, like in Cuentra 24, I would think that they would need to be legit, and again, double check like the sites.
And I also was in Cuentra 24, giving away for free a bed. So it was like, this bed is for free, you come and get it if you want it. And then I got someone, oh, I want to pay for that bed. No, it's free. No, I want to pay for it. But the trick here is that they put like a bank, and they have some other scam.
Does using a digital signature help you with your bank account? Is it more secure if you use digital signature to get into your account?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't use it. But I would think, is there a process to get into your bank account with your digital signatures?
I use it because I'm hoping it's more secure.
Yeah, it looks like a double authorization, right? You got the official
So-
site.
So that means that I have less possibility if somebody's stealing.
You're using digital signature and you're using a password as well, or no?
No, well, as you say, it's a double check with the digital. You have a double authorization signature, but you don't use a password.
But you should have like double authorization. You only use as many as authorizations. I know we get annoyed with tokens and things like that, but everything that adds like a third step is like. I don't use it, so I don't know, but take it back and then shoot it over. But it sounds, if the bank promotes it sounds like a double authorization. What is the source of the police say?
I think it's better than information like email, SMS, because someone can actually hack your phone,
Yeah.
hack your email, and then they have everything they need. You can't give, I think it's better than digital one.
Also, you didn't mention it, but one thing that happened to me is, and luckily I had the property, I had the Dennis monitored assets. And someone did try and steal my property. And, they inform you if something's filed and you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I called them right up and they, it didn't happen, but,
I should add that. Yeah, it's all used. I have all stories from people that tell me. I'll add that one.
yeah, so that's, I mean, I don't know why that happened to me, but it did, and so now I check it every day. So, I don't know, has that happened to anybody that they?
Well, there were some people that when there was a news, so there was a very top,
Yes, that lady.
a top lawyer in a fancy firm, and he had all these people, so he was so trustworthy that they moved a lot of stuff, but that one's gone. If that was the case,
There was an law firm that taught how to do it, too.
yeah, so I think he's in jail now, but he was like a legit executive who went.
Not jail. So, is this on?
Yeah.
Mhm. So I visit the jails, I've been visiting the jails for many years, and I can attest to the absolute truth of the reform. They have it totally organized, and it's a gringo who's in jail, and he passes you on to his associate, who's a Tico, who's in jail, and then when the money goes through, one of their girlfriends or wives, whatever, then they divide the money among all of them. And I know this for sure because it was told to me by one of my street kids that was in jail, and I had just gotten a call and I asked him about it, and he said, yes, that's what we do. So watch out. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is I have a friend who got a call from Banco Nacional on a Friday night. She's alone, she lives alone, she has enough money, blah, blah, blah. They kept her on the phone until Sunday morning. People would pass her from one official representative to another, to another, to another.
And finally said, okay, they wore her down and she sent all her money and she lost all of her money. So, but what was that? They were appealing to some emotion that she had of being lonely, of being alone, you know, on a Friday night and these guys. Yeah, but she didn't know that. And then the other one is for my foundation. Oh, how I wish that some wealthy businessman would call me and say, for your foundation, we're gonna give you, you know, X number of this and that and the other thing, and it's happened more than once. And I love playing with, because I'll say, oh, that's so wonderful, thank you so much, it's so important to me, we're gonna save all the children. Tell me something about, you know, oh, it's a group of businessmen in Florida, blah, 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 blah. And so I give them my bank number with the wrong number. And then when they say, give me your secret code, I go fuck yourself. I'm a baddie.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what she said, the Women's Club of Costa Rica in 2018, by fraud, we lost $14,000 that was meant for scholarships. And it was, I mean, I reported it to Ojota and everything, and I was I was treasurer at the time.
Oops.
Yeah, right. And it, you know, I got an email saying, oh, to finish your transaction that you started this morning, click on this. I wasn't doing anything in the morning. So I called the bank immediately. They froze the account and already that much money had been taken out. I was interviewed by a fiscal in Heredia, and he said, those names, because I printed all of the information out, the names of those accounts that the money went to were paid. They were probably people who need money. They were paid by the people in prison to use their accounts, and then they take it out of there into, they close the accounts. It was very, very sad. So in Bach, that's my main bank. That was the women's club. That was a different thing. Now they offer fraud insurance on your bank account and on your credit cards. And it's not that expensive by month. I have it all. I don't have a lot of money here, but I don't want to lose any of it. And I get a call on the phone. I've gotten many calls. All right, let me call you back. Give me your number, please.
Yes. It was the previous treasurer who had been sick, and she got a call from the bank, and she said, oh, are you the international division in the bank? And she said, yes. So she gave a lot of information, and then luckily Grace saved us, because we could have lost more if Grace hadn't, because they called Grace to get more information.
Thank you. I have 3 questions. One is about antiviruses. So does it work? Because okay.
One thing I can say about antivirus is you need to buy the real stuff. Like you shouldn't buy like somebody gave me a Microsoft and it's really cheap. No, you gotta buy like the official sites for
Okay, thank you. The second question is about the insurance. I've always thought about, and I think if the bank is providing me a card and the bank is going to earn money through my savings and my purchases and interest rates, why doesn't the bank provide me security? Why do I have to buy an insurance? So what's the point? So they don't have any security?
No, they have a really good fraud prevention. That's why you get somebody locked into your account, somebody got this, but most of the scams that happen, the data that they have for safety was provided. The PIN number, the renewal, the password, the information they have for safety was provided by the user.
Okay, thank you. And the third one, maybe if you have any idea, we're using LinkedIn a lot nowadays, right? And when we are looking for a job, they often ask you for your LinkedIn account. So it makes me feel like I need to be really open for my LinkedIn account. How much information should I provide through my LinkedIn account? Because it seems like we have to be digital people in order to be seen. And it scares me because I'm a very discreet person, as you all know. So it scares me, like I need to provide more and more information in an open way.
So the one thing you shouldn't put, like, neither in your Facebook nor in your account, you shouldn't put your phone number, right? And when you get a mail, you're gonna double check the mail, right? So I'm in like the job search forum, and sometimes like a headhunter will send me that. But in the case of my friend, that headhunter was asking, well, the so-called headhunter was asking for the bank details, right? So it's like, if you put your emotional side of it, the fact that you needed a job at that time, he would have said, nobody would provide me with them, asking me for the bank.
Thank you.
I have to double verify this, but just to.
Can't hear you.
Oh. Good, yeah, not that
Very
bad.
okay.
I have to double verify this, but I think the second question that you had related to the bank, also because the bank. Because the,
karaoke, like that.
because the banking system also that we are used to usually come from the US. And in those systems, for example, there is no threshold fund that backups your savings. That's why when you pay, you are saying, okay, I need this bank to have, if you have $2,000, you pay for them to have another $2,000 prepaid if something happens in the case of fraud. For example, in Europe, that doesn't happen like that. You don't earn much with it, you know, you reset with your savings, you are earning some interest, right? In Europe, usually you don't earn that much interest, but all money that you have in your bank, you don't have to pay insurance right away because it's always doubled. So that's why when there is a crisis or something, everyone goes to the bank and take their money here, and it goes bankrupt. That usually doesn't happen in European countries very often. So the measures, and just taking account that, are very different. And so sadly, well, you get more money with the US system, but you're not right.
Gloriana, when you were talking about municipality-linked scams, I just want to say that in the Registro Nacional, there's a lot of information about the property. So they can easily give you, in those scams, specific information that looks like it is.
Going to a farm site, like it looks like it, but it's not really. Like they copy like a site, but it's, if you clicked on it, not everything would work, or everything, like, it's not the legit site, and you put in your data.
And the other thing is that all these scams go beyond money. Recently there was a story circulating, and I mean, it comes from a reliable source. This young man had his Facebook page with his picture and pictures of his cars, and he was linked to many people in the same school. So this young 14-year-old comes in contact with him, and it all looks good because she knows his friends and all of that. So they make an appointment for coffee at Starbucks at Multiplaza. And so the father says, I'll go with you. So they sit sort of next, the couple or the young man and his daughter sit on one table and he sits on another table doing work. After a few minutes, they're gone. I mean, he wasn't paying attention the whole time. So, and 3 hours later, they were able to find her in Multiplaza, but everything looked legit.
Yes, like a social, it was like a social media board.
Wanted to ask you about reporting phishing. So for example, if you get a phishing email, as I have, from Apple or a bank or whatever, I also then report it to that company. And I think that it's helpful. I get responses back saying, we've received your phishing notification.
They can stop it too.
And so that they can stop that action. And there's also one where you can report it to the FBI. I must admit, I don't often do that because they're, well, but also because there are a lot of steps, but on occasion, I've had the time and I thought, let the FBI go after them too.
You put in a great question. I'm gonna add that to it because they can easily block somebody's account, but they'll have to go and trigger a new one, but it's so easy to block after you do that. I just thank you for your time. I just wanted to close with one thing. We're looking at all the bad stuff, right? But it's a really small percentage. It's grown and we have to be conscious of it, but it's a really small percentage, right? The banks now will send you automatically, somebody logged into your account. If you do a transaction in a matter of seconds, it goes. If you go to a restaurant, they no longer take your credit card. They come into the site. So there's double access when you go to like a legit bank. So there's like a lot of really extra steps, and we just have to go back to basics where we take care of our emotions and listen to ourselves when something like this happens.
Class, can we just follow you?
Sure, yeah, so I just have, with my mom, I started and I do like simplification process for that, yeah.
Another thing, Law also gives classes about AI and the uses of AI. I went to a class with her, and there was one with real estate and another in a store, so she told her all the ways that they could use AI for the business.
I personalize it, so in that one, I'm learning to use ChatGPT or Gemini, yeah.
Thank you so much for being on. An exceptional presentation, and you'll have the pleasure, thank you for actually, it's a great segue. You'll have the pleasure of actually seeing Gloriana again in June. And the event is going to be about artificial intelligence, what it is and why it matters, with some very practical advice and applications. So I definitely highly advise you to come back on June 21st to actually meet again Gloriana and have a very nice session about artificial intelligence, which is pretty much the reality of our lives these days. With this, Jackie, I'm going to hand over to you.
Cool. Well, first of all, if you're planning on staying for lunch, there's a menu on one of the tables, or there's a few. I'm just gonna pass around the sheet with a pen. It'll just be a little bit quicker if we order it now, and I'll give it to Katya. The orders. Can you just show of hands who's staying for lunch?
We have signed it too.
Oh, you already signed it. Oh, okay. So does somebody that need to sign up for their lunch? That's all? Okay. Good, you're ahead, one step ahead. I'm signed up. Oh, do you want to cross off here? Okay. Okay, then when we're done, just we can give the sheet to Katya. We also have, I just wanted to talk here, we have a bunch of our merchandise for sale if you're interested in cups and notebooks and pens. And the prices are all here. So just you can let me know or Rami know at the end of the. Well, now, before we go to lunch.
You say that again?
All the merchandise is up here. If anyone would like to purchase something and support the PWNCR, we have the mugs.
PWNCR.
Some pens. The mugs are 4,000 colonis, the pens are 1,000, books 5,000. Okay.
Where's lunch?
Lunch is downstairs in the main level in the restaurant. You can order down there too. I think it'd just be a little quicker if we order it. Oh, also, if you have one of these on, you can just return it to the table before you leave. And if you're a premium member, if you could take out your name tag and keep it in your wallet for the next time, then you can just slip it in when you come to the next meeting. And I just also wanted to, we're gonna do door prizes, but before I do the door prizes, I just wanted to mention that we are launching our campaign for the Rahab Foundation. The Rahab, the PWNCR has worked with Rahab for many years now. They work to help with women that have been trafficked. And so they help the women and children. They have I guess it's like a safe house. I don't know a lot about it, if anyone knows a little bit.
It's a safe house.
It's a safe house.
And some of them have been sexual workers and they're changing their lives to perhaps.
So sex workers or trafficked, okay. So, and they're also raising money for, I guess, a new house in the hills or mountains of Arabia. So if you would like to make a donation to the Rahab Foundation, you can let Rami know. If you send us a scene page, just say that it's for Rahab, so that we can earmark that money for the foundation. And we and they will be really appreciative. It's a great cause, so. Anything else I should mention about that? No? Good? Okay. And then finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. Our door prize. Oh, you want to mention? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
what Jackie said mentioned about name tag for premium memberships. Now, as you know, we have a new membership type. Let's say that if you pay 30,000 colones per year, you don't have to pay any entrance fee. So we are giving these name tags to the people who are already paying for the premium membership. So what you do, you bring this name tag every time. This is yours, and it's whoever paid, and then you just wait this to us, just put it on, and we know we just go straight. You don't have to do any line. So that's the advantage, and you don't pay any. You don't have to pay the 3,000 for member, nor the 6,000. No, 6,000 is for visitors, but members pay 3,000, and you just save that for the whole year. It's one payment. That's very easy.
Okay.
Oh, these are very nice, made by Phyllis and Gretchen, who used to be one of our members. So they are the ones who have been working on this name tags. For today, for the prize, we have PWNCR mug and a nice present that Phyllis donated for us today.
Okay, so Susie, how are you? Pick the first winner. Okay. Okay, it is 105. 105. What is it? 105. Oh, it's me, but I don't know, but I thought. Well, I mean, I'm happy, I'm like, I never win anything. Thank you, Phyllis. I never win anything. Although here I've won a few times. Good luck if Peter wins here. Okay, next one. Nade Savage. Oh, we didn't have people come up and talk. Okay, 108. Valentina, congratulations. You have to have your coffee in that every morning. For your teams. Let's do a pen.
This is our PWNCR pen.
Okay, number 117. Not our congratulations. Well, thank you all for coming. We were gonna have some new people come up quickly. Do we? We don't have. We don't have the chat. Okay. Okay, so let's see, Anade, would you like to come up and just tell us a little bit about yourself? No? Well, you're not that, well, no, you're not, yeah, okay, well, Maria, this is your first time, right? Would you like to come up and tell us about yourself?
Thank you. I'm Guatemalan originally. I've lived in Costa Rica for over 30 years. I have a daughter who's 16, and currently I work as a mental health coach and also as a career coach. This is my third change of careers, and I'm really enjoying this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks for welcoming. Valentina, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. Well, I'm originally from Nicaragua, and I'm living currently in the Netherlands and wanting to come back to Central America at one point. And I'm a psychologist and with a specialization in human rights, gender, and conflict. So yeah, and right now I'm just doing more consultancy, so it's really nice to be here.
Thank you. Well done. Well, that's all for today. I think we're good. So, for again, lunch will be on the first floor of the restaurant, and thank you again, everyone for coming.